What is up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? JP from Kayfabe Chronicles coming to you with the final Big Four review of the year, WWE Survivor Series. That's right, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and now Survivor Series. So WWE's doing their whole new format where instead of the whole 3-hour pay-per-view, it's now 4 hours plus a 2-hour pre-show. So that gives you a grand spanking total of 6 hours of action-packed wrestling. I'm not going to really go into crazy amount of detail about that. I didn't watch the pre-show. I have no intention of watching the pre-show because I have more important things to do, like stab myself. So jumping right into the action, the opening match, of course, is a Survivor Series match. Go figure. So we got the women. So we got Team Raw. That's right, captained by Charlotte with Bayley, Alicia Fox, Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks. Taking on Team Smackdown, captained by Nikki Bella. We got some Carmella, we got Alexa Bliss, we got Becky Lynch, and we got Naomi. Of course, the coach, the wonderful coach, my favorite, Natalya. I know I get a lot of slack for liking Natalya, but I gotta support my Canadian gal. Woo! And speaking of Canada, that's right, it's in Toronto. So, match, of course, Bayley's first one to come out. You got to get the crowd going and music hits. Crowd loses their freaking balls. Why not? Bayley, huge fan favorite. Everybody loves her. Just everyone else kind of comes out. Sasha Banks gets a huge pop as usual. Nia Jax kind of comes out really quick. Alicia Fox kind of comes down really quick. And of course, then Charlotte gets the big boos. Then, of course, Team SmackDown comes out. Becky Lynch, huge pop. Naomi... I still don't get her entrance. I never will. I understand she's a phenomenal dancer. We get it. It shouldn't take 4 hours for her to come to the ring, but for some weird reason it does. Alexa comes out. Pretty decent crowd pop. People are really, really digging her. Carmella comes out. Mixed things. And of course, then Nikki Bella's music hits, and oh my God, where's Nikki Bella? She's nowhere to be found. Of course, she's been attacked backstage. By who? I don't really care. So Natalya's going to fill in, which is awesome because Natty fan, why you hating? Hashtag, why you hating? Overall, wasn't really a lot of build up to this match. It's great that, they tried to get as many of the ladies in as they could. I've said it before in the past, I'll say it again. I think all the women should be on the same show. It just adds a lot more versatility, a lot more eyes to it. Overall, it was a good match. All the ladies worked really well. I'm going to give shout-outs to Carmella. She's really improved over the last little while for me. I think she's really finding her stride. One thing I really liked about the match is that the Raw women kept kind of tagging each other in. One would tag, then they would stand there getting ready to fight, and then another one would go right behind and tag her. Charlotte would tag, come in, and then Bayley would tag and come in. I thought, the old rules in tag team wrestling was you can't make a tag until there's actual physical contact between the two people in the ring, but whatever. It was cool to see, the inner meltings of Team Raw. That was a lot of fun. The ladies worked really well with each other. I'm just going to fast forward right to the end. Team Raw wins at the end. Becky Lynch is the last eliminated by Bayley, giving her the Bayley to belly. So Charlotte's Bayley last two survivors standing in the ring, raising their hands, and then Charlotte turns on Bayley. Oh my God, beats the crap out of her. Why? Because we're planting the seeds for WrestleMania now. I said it in the past, it's going to be Charlotte and Bayley at WrestleMania. Why are we beating around the bush? Let's just get it going. It'll be a phenomenal match. I don't know if Bayley will win the title. Maybe she'll be ready by then, but overall, decent match. Nothing too crazy out of the ordinary. The girls gave it their all. Good match. Solid stuff. Very next match, we got Sami Zayn taking on The Miz for the IC title. Everyone knows, big Sami Zayn fan, huge Sami Zayn fan. I've done numerous videos about Sami Zayn. Check them all out in the description box below. And so my heart the entire time going into this was like, now is Sami Zayn's time. Now is his time to get the title. He won his Intercontinental title shot by beating Rusev, and it was supposed to be Dolph Ziggler versus Sami. So, of course, 1 week before Survivor Series, The Miz beats Dolph Ziggler, so now it's The Miz versus Sami. Whatever, I don't care. I love The Miz, I love Dolph, I love Sami. I would have loved a triple threat out of it. I think that would have been a little bit more kick-ass to watch, but, Dolph, The Miz comes out, huge boos because he's a bad guy. Sami comes out, audience is just freaking losing their shit as always. Everyone loves Sami Zayn, his music. Everyone just rocks out to it. He's in his home country. Overall, I was expecting it to be the match of the night, but it hurts me to say it, but I really wasn't feeling it with this one. I don't know. Like, it was, lots of great stuff going with him. Sami's with his normal great moves, the tornado DDT, the jumping, the dive off over the top ropes, the Blue Thunder Bomb, which of course will never win a match. One day it will. I don't know. I just wasn't jumping into it. Like, the match ended, Sami gets him, locked into the figure four in the center of the ring. Maurice rings the bell. Sami thinks that he's won, but of course he wasn't. He didn't, so then The Miz rolls him up, grabs the tights, and gets the 3 count. So essentially what I saw was that they're really trying to really push the screw job aspect of it. And you'll notice that throughout the whole night, this is a recurring theme. So let's start the counter now. So that's 1 screw job. I understand that, the whole Montreal screw job thing is like history, but to do it again in Canada, I don't really get it. I think that's really in poor taste, in my opinion. Heartbroken Sami didn't win the match. Overall, it wasn't a great match. It wasn't a crappy match. It was decent. It's, good to watch. Hopefully they'll push the feud. Hopefully Sami will get another title shot, and he'll win the belt because he deserves it. Watch the most underutilized wrestlers of on the current roster. Click the link below. So I don't know why they did the whole screw job thing. I was actually really pissed off at that. So, way to go, Vince. Way to go. Rubbing me the wrong way once again. Alright, coming up next is the second of the Survivor Series matches. It's the tag team elimination match. So we got Team Raw, all these guys. Team Smackdown, all these guys. Every single time there's numerous tag teams in a match, like 4-corner tag teams, or it's just a giant clusterfuck. I really was not looking forward to watching this match at all. I like the New Day. I like American Alpha. I love the club. I like what a lot of these teams have to offer, but I just really wasn't feeling it going into it. I'm just going to get right to it. All the teams have their basic entrances. One part I really liked was that Cesaro comes out, and he tried to tear his clothes off like he does, and just his top would not come off. I don't know. It gave me a good laugh. Of course, the first 20 minutes of the match or so, I don't even know. I lost count. End Zone Cast do their promo crap. New Day comes out, does their thing. It's getting a little old, in my opinion. But hey, it's a 4-hour show. We got to kill it somehow. So, of course, you're going to get these guys to talk for a good 4.5 hours. The match started, not really a lot going on. Breezango, right off the bat, they're doing their whole Fashion Police thing, handing out the tickets, and of course, Fandango gets eliminated right off the bat. But then right after that, the New Day got eliminated. Like, seconds later, they were celebrating, and then Kofi gets completely knocked down and gets pinned, so, that's actually really shocking that the tag team champions from Raw are taken out of the match really early. That's... Maybe this is the end of things to come for the New Day and their tag team titles. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Overall, the teams did what they did. Mojo Rawley did his crazy hype thing. Love him or hate him, he's fun to watch. I just found it weird that, when the Hype Riders did get eliminated, Zach gets pinned and, nobody from Team Smackdown came in to save him. They just kind of stood there. They're just like, The club looked really good. They dominated for a good chunk of the match. American Alpha looked great as always. The bad guy Usos come out in their OG clothes. Why? Because we're bad guy Usos. I still don't understand what WWE is trying to do with them. It went by a lot smoother than I thought it would. It wasn't like the huge cluster bomb that I thought it was going to be. Of course, in the end, Cesaro and Sheamus win for Team Raw. So, hey, fuck Team Smackdown. This is going to be a Raw sweep. Why? Because SmackDown is winning in the ratings every week, in my opinion. SmackDown is the better show, so this is Raw's chance to flat out say, screw you, SmackDown, we're number one. So the bookers are purposely booking it for Raw to win to make SmackDown look weaker, because the fans know that SmackDown is better. I'm going to defend SmackDown until the day I die. Raw, get up off your asses and do something. One of the things that I really, really enjoyed was, like, Cesaro going all ape crap near the end of the match, and he's just taking everybody out. But he did a 619. That's right. He ran and he did Rey Mysterio 619. So I'm officially calling it the Swiss 19. That's right. Hashtag Swiss 19. You are the man, Cesaro. You deserve way more than you are getting. I don't care if you have a tag team title shot. I don't care. You are not a tag team wrestler. You are a singles wrestler. Put the strap on Cesaro. Swiss 19. Watch it if you like tag teams. I don't really see what's going to go on. Like Raw has their big group. SmackDown has their big group. Should they put them all in one show? I don't know. It's tough to say because there's a lot of teams. So, check out the match. It was somewhat entertaining, but it wasn't my cup of tea personally. So if you guys have lost count, it is now Raw with 2 wins and SmackDown with none. Well, The Miz technically won, so I guess SmackDown gets a point there. I'm talking about the Survivor Series matches. So right after that, there's a lot of talking, a lot of vignettes, a lot of interviews, a lot of promos. So you know what that means. The ring crew is out there getting them sexy purple ropes out because it is time for the Cruiserweight Championship. Brian Kendrick taking on Kalisto. So if Kalisto wins this match, he wins the Cruiserweight Championship, and obviously the Cruiserweights move to SmackDown. This can be a bad thing and a good thing, because right now where they are on SmackDown, right now where they are on Raw, I don't know what I'm even talking about. My mind is just so about all this. So where they are on Raw right now, like, I don't think that they are getting the correct recognition that they deserve, even though Raw is the longer show and they could easily make it work. But you know what? Kalisto is who you'd assume would be the Cruiserweight Champion, so I'm glad that they're finally getting onto this. Match, lots of high impact stuff. Huge spotlight for me was Kalisto doing a Spanish fly from the turnbuckle, from the apron onto the floor. I'm pretty sure they both died right after that. Good match. Brian Kendrick got him locked into the captain's hook for a little while. You thought Kalisto was going to tap. He finally makes it to the rope and gets the break. Overall, not going to really go much into this. It's what you expected, high-flying Kalisto versus more mat technical Brian Kendrick. A decent match. I would strongly recommend checking out. At the end, Baron Corbin runs in and interferes, therefore pretty much obliterating the match. But I'd like to point out that this was one of the greatest quotes ever in the history of broadcasting. Mauro Ranallo, everybody's favorite announcer right now because his voice is like butter, flat out says, "Hey, Corbin's not a cruiserweight." That was amazing. That is why I love Mauro, because it's like, yes, we know he's not a cruiserweight, but thank you for saying that. That was boss. It'd be actually really cool if Baron Corbin was a cruiserweight. I wouldn't mind that at all, actually. But, overall, I think he was just in there just to push of how much of a raging badass he is. Maybe he'll get sent to Raw because him and Daniel Bryan had a little headbutting after. Maybe if he gets moved to Raw, he'll actually be doing something. Who knows? Baron Corbin's not the worst, not the best. He deserves a lot more than what he's getting right now. So maybe the move to Raw is what we do need for him. But yeah, of course, Brian Kendrick retains the title, so therefore Cruiserweights stay on Raw. Whoopie-de-doo! Time to tear that purple tape off. So the fact that Baron Corbin came out and kind of ruined the match, I consider that another screw job. So at this point, I'm looking at my clock, and I'm looking at the matches that are left. There's 2 hours left in the pay-per-view, and there's 2 matches left. Do we really need 4 hours, WWE? Do we really need the 4 hours? You're telling me I have to watch 2-hour-long matches? This isn't the 1950s. Back then, guys would fight for days on end and the crowd didn't give a rat's ass. The world does not have the attention to do it. Then again, look at me, coming from a guy who puts out half-an-hour YouTube videos. Alright, so up next is the 5 versus 5 final Survivor Series elimination match between Team Raw. That's right, we got Roman Reigns, Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Braun Strowman. Taking on Team SmackDown, we got Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, Shane O'Mac, and Dean Ambrose. Bell rings, Seth Rollins. Loved his shirt. You know, all the guys had their, Raw shirts, their Smackdown shirts, all that. But like Seth Rollins kind of comboed his shirt. He had, half Raw and half Architect, which is really, really cool. Roman Reigns' music hits. Whole crowd boos him because that's what we do. Roman Reigns, one day you will be loved, but that day is not today. And of course, we are in Canada, so Chris Jericho's music hits. The world goes crazy. Kevin Owens' music hits. The world goes crazy. And then Braun Strowman was just kind of there. You know what? Braun Strowman the past couple weeks is really starting to grow on me. He's getting a lot better in the ring. I am starting to view him as a force to be reckoned with. Like, he does a lot more than the 2 moves he used to do. And his promo work is actually getting really, really good. I'm actually really believing him as an unstoppable monster. So good on you, Raw. Good on you, Braun. You got a future, big man. You got a future. It's sad that I'm older than him and he's like 10 times the size of me. What are you eating? All I do is drink cherry Coke. Maybe that's my problem. That is definitely my problem. The Team Smackdown guys come out. Shane O'Mac's music hits. Everyone's like, yeah, Shane O'Mac, you're too old and frail to be in this match, but you're going to do something stupid. We're going to love you. AJ, of course, everybody freaking worships the ground AJ walks on. Bray Wyatt comes out. People are still buying it. Randy Orton comes up. People are still cheering. You know what? All 10 guys in this match have their way people like them, except for Roman Reigns, because nobody likes you, except for little kids. And that's wrong. This match itself, great build-up, really good video promo package going into this. This was one of the matches where I was actually kind of excited to check it out. I was like, you know what, that's a match that I could actually thoroughly enjoy. Part I really liked, of course, Stephanie, like, Team Raw, you gotta fight like your jobs depend on it, because they do. I'm recording this before Raw, so maybe they'll all get fired. Who knows? But, all in all, the match, lots of great stuff. It was long. Considering that, they had an hour left, 2 hours left, 2 matches. This one almost took the hour. Even, minus all the entrances, was still pretty long. Strowman looked great, like cracking skulls, knocking everybody down. Shane O'Mac looked freaking awesome as always. I'm not gonna go over all the eliminations, but just a lot of great stuff that I thought I'll mention is, sadly, we lost 3 people in this match. Fortunately, after Braun Strowman was eliminated, due to actually James Ellsworth preventing him from getting back in the ring, so Braun was counted out. I'm pretty sure James Ellsworth is dead now, because he was thrown off the stage through numerous tables, so that's 1 death. Second match, Kevin Owens grabbed Chris Jericho's list and proceeded to beat Team Smackdown with it, causing him to get disqualified. So sadly, we lost the list. And finally, Shane O'Mac jumped off the top turnbuckle only to get speared in midair by Roman Reigns, and the referee pretty much didn't even count Shane O'Mac. He just flat out, you're done. Shane O'Mac, I'm pretty sure, is no longer with us after that. If Shane was legitimately injured, which I think he was, it sucks, but damn, what an awesome spot. I'm not even gonna lie. Watching him explode from Roman Reigns pretty much hitting him at the speed of a bullet train was actually pretty badass. Not as badass as him jumping off the cage at WrestleMania, but Shane, stop it. You're already dead. One thing I was kind of noticing going on in this match, pretty much for the first quarter before the first elimination, you saw everyone in the ring except for Bray and Randy. I didn't see them at all. It wasn't until after Dean Ambrose got eliminated by Braun Strowman that Bray and Randy actually made their appearance in the ring. I was like, oh yeah, there are those 2 guys. I thought they were taken. So during the match, I decided to invent another drinking game. It was take a shot every time someone does a super kick. I know that I'm not the first guy to bring this up. Numerous videos out there just address that the super kick is pretty much a mediocre move now. So please, guys, stop doing the super kick. I beg you. Shawn Michaels is just sitting at home going what the hell? I don't have any muscle. Just stop doing the super kick, please, for the love of all that is holy. So after Roman speared Shane and Shane, like left the match, Roman, you know, kind of rolled out of the ring. And the best part was that the crowd started cheering like Roman sleeping. Why? Because of course, as usual, not working the cardio, Roman Reigns can only wrestle for 10 minutes, so he was outside the ring getting his breath. For the love of God, Roman, spin cycle. You were doing so good in the last pay-per-view. What happened? Lay off the cheeseburgers. Lay off of them. No! Bad Roman Reigns. Bad. So Dean Ambrose runs back in later on in the match after he's been eliminated to what? Beat up AJ Styles. See what I did there? Yeah, granted they're on the same team, but Dean is feuding with AJ right now. Why? Because SmackDown has nothing else going for them, which is weird because I am like pro SmackDown. It was really cool. Everyone called it though. They did the triple Shield powerbomb through the table, the old Shield finishing move. So it was cool to see some Shield action again. So they, Dean, Roman, and Seth throw AJ through the table. AJ gets eliminated. Crowd loses their mind. Then they boo Dean. Maybe this is the return of the Shield. I'd be all for that. I wish the Shield would have never broken up. I was big fans of theirs. So not a lot really else going on in the match. Seth Rollins gets eliminated, so now it's pretty much just down to Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. So at the end of the match, Roman goes in to spear Bray Wyatt. Of course, Randy Orton jumps in front of the way of the spear. And then Bray Wyatt grabs Roman Reigns, hits him with Sister Abigail, and picks up the win. So, woo, SmackDown. It was great to see SmackDown actually get one of the wins out of the night. So it wasn't a clean sweep for Raw, which was a nice view. Overall, best match of the night, hands down. Great build. All 10 guys worked their asses off. The length of the match, despite it being long, it was good that it was long because there was lots of stuff. I was actually really interested in this match the entire time. I didn't turn away from it. So I strongly recommend you guys check this one out. You will thank yourselves. And you will thank me. Because I am the spreader of love. Wrestling love. And up next, the main event. Fantasy Warfare. Talk about another freaking drinking game every time. Never mind. Everyone else has talked about it. But of course, Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg. I was lucky, I guess, if you can say, to witness, the wonderful first time they fought at WrestleMania 20. Back then it was a little different. The build-up was just as big as it was. It was a must-see match going into it. Unfortunately, leading up to WrestleMania 20, the rumor leaked out that Brock was leaving the company right after WrestleMania 20, as was Goldberg. So that really made nobody actually give a rat's ass about the match. You guys all know the story. They put on one of the worst matches of WrestleMania 20. Thank God Stone Cold was there to stun them both and end it. So going into this, 12-year build-up, it's great to see Goldberg back. I'm not really a big Goldberg fan, but you love him or hate him, the crowd eats him up. And for 50, he still looks pretty damn ripped, which was good to see. 12-year build-up, oh my God, this is going to be the match of the night. And it's done. I'm not even kidding. Like, if you would have gone to the bathroom or, pissed or gotten up to scratch yourself, you would have missed it. I'm not kidding. Goldberg came out. Lesnar came out. The bell rings, and it's done. Seriously? Seriously, Vince. You're going to put all this hype into pushing Brock Lesnar as an undefeated monster. For the love of God, you have him break the most legendary streak in the history of wrestling. You have him decimate John Cena. You have him brutally assault and destroy Randy Orton. And then you have him lose to 50-year-old Goldberg in a minute 20. Fuck you, bookers. I am not even kidding. I am so pissed off. I wasn't even caring about the match. I would feel bad if I had shelled out thousands of dollars or whatever to check this thing out, to fly across the world. If I lived in Asia and I flew up to Toronto to check this out, this is the one match I'm looking forward to seeing, and then you pull that shit in front of me? The one thing wrestling has always had that UFC and boxing doesn't have is UFC and boxing, it's a crapshoot. You don't know if you're going to get a long match. But you can usually assume that with wrestling, a big pushed main event, you're going to get at least 5 to 10 minutes, and you give me a minute 20. I can cook a pizza pop in longer time than it was for that to happen. So speaking of screw jobs, the final big screw job of the night is Vince to the fans who paid for this. And Vince is all like, you get a screw job and you get a screw job. Everybody gets a screw job. How dare you, WWE? How dare you? I'm sorry, I understand you guys are trying to push them to fight at Royal Rumble or WrestleMania again, but people paid money to come to Survivor Series to check this out, and you fucking shit all over them. I am not impressed. And it's mainly because of that this entire crap shoot of a freaking pay-per-view, and that left a real sour taste in my mouth. I didn't think anything could be as bad as SummerSlam was, but unfortunately, this pay-per-view takes the cake. And it wasn't even that was bad. The entire thing was unwatchable. It was 4 hours of literally me just sitting there. The only saving grace for me was the 5-on-5 men's match, which was awesome. It was a good breath of fresh air. You start with a subpar women's match. You screw me over by having Sami not win the title. You have a clusterfuck of a tag team match. You freaking have a cruiserweight match that ends in another screw job. You have a great match. And then you end with a minute 20 piece of shit main event. I don't even know what to believe anymore. Whatever. I'm done. If you guys like the video, crush that like button. If you don't, I'll understand why. I'm zipping through this because I really don't care about this Survivor Series. I am not a happy camper. Please subscribe to the video for more great... see, I'm so angry I can't even talk. Just please subscribe to the station for more great videos and follow us on Twitter using the 2 name tags below. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And this is JP from Kayfabe Chronicles, and I will see you guys next time because I'm about to crush another case of these bad boys. They're in Canada at last, and I am so happy. Way happier than Survivor Series.